Here at home, pro-Palestinian protesters temporarily halting the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. The New York Post calling them bloody idiots. Beverly Hallberg is president of the District Media Group, and she joins me now. Beverly, I don't want to give these idiots more of a platform after they disrupted a parade for children. I'm going to focus on Joe Biden. The old adage goes, doesn't it? If you try to please everybody, you please no one. Wouldn't his approval with regard to how he's handling the Israeli crisis be better if he just unequivocally threw his support behind Israel instead of trying to meekly placate the other side?
I never thought I would say this, but I think our president should take a page from Senator John Fetterman, who has, without any type of apology, shown his support of Israel, waving the Israel flag to people as he passes them. Look, with Joe Biden, what he's constantly doing is reading the polls and seeing whether or not his position is going to impact him. I think the way a lot of Democrats are looking at this, though, middle-of-the-road Democrats agree with him. It's young people, it's progressives that don't like his stance. But I think his campaign is looking at this as, look, if the campaign was 2 weeks away, it would be a problem. But we have 11 months. This is going to be a long game for them. But I think it's a shame that the president isn't just sticking to a firm position. Instead, is reading the polls a little bit too much.
OK, but how does Biden win back those? I'm going to call them two groups. The Jewish Democrat, who's always reliably voted Democrat, and what I'm going to call the Michigan Muslim, who's not happy with how he's handled it. How does he win those voters back? And if he doesn't, where do those votes go?
Well, I think he's hoping that Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee, and he's hoping that people that in those camps, the progressives, that they would never vote for Donald Trump, and not only never vote, but would definitely come out and vote for whoever is running against Donald Trump. So I think he's pushing for Trump to be the nominee, Republican nominee. Of course, all polling is showing that that is the most likely scenario, and he's hoping that the long game is going to help him out. But I think the Michigan battle is the most important. He is looking at where his support is in that toss-up state. And so that's what goes back to worrying that this president is going to be making policy decisions on whether or not he can be elected, not looking at it whether or not this is in the best interest of the United States and its allies.
Finally, the Joe Biden campaign releasing a guide to deal with, quote, crazy MAGA nonsense. This first one is a doozy. The crazy MAGA guide, you have to do these things. Say Trump had the worst job record of any president since the Great Depression. Inflation is at a new low. President Biden has created nearly 14 jobs. Putting aside the fact that if you did raise this at Thanksgiving, you are a psychopath. 20 seconds to you, Beverly. These are just plain lies.
They are lies, and it's told to you by the people who I think are the worst communicators in the U.S. presidency that we've ever seen. And by the way, he was talking about how turkey is cheaper this year, eggs are cheaper this year. But guess what? He was the president last year. He's always saying that it's not as bad as last year. So these are not the owns that they think they are. And I don't